One of the main features missing from Modern Warfare as it stands today is the Battle Pass, a system that, depending on who you ask, is great or terrible, and depending on what game it may be, but objectively, it's just simply a way to allow players to unlock and progress through their tiers to get more stuff in-game for just simply their playtime. Black Ops 4's system was a little less than ideal, but what we've seen and heard of from Modern Warfare's Battle Pass system seems to be, for the time being, much better. Collectively, there's not a whole lot of concrete details on the who, what, where, when, and why stages, if you will, for the said Battle Pass, but we still have quite a lot that we can talk about. And today I want to dive deep into those unanswered questions and give you my thoughts and theories on when it will be coming, what will be coming with it, and any and everything in between. So that said, sit back, relax, and let's talk some shop about the coming extras in Modern Warfare, and let me know if anything stands out to you in the comments below, and also as well, do be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done so already to stay in the loop daily with all things Call of Duty and all things Modern Warfare. But anyways, let's start out with the timing of when we may see this Battle Pass introduced. Initially, the Battle Pass in Modern Warfare Season 1 was supposed to launch in November, and possibly even by now when you're watching this video, but for whatever circumstances, the season and Battle Pass was pushed back until December. This was confirmed by the Activision shareholders call almost 2 weeks ago now at this point, and it stated that they'll see support in other key franchises with a stream of content, services, events, and features. This includes our new in-game system for Modern Warfare, which begins in December, slightly later than originally planned. Now, if I were to guess, this delay is due in part to two things in particular. One, the post-launch stability, and two, potentially the complete overhaul of how post-launch content may be working within Modern Warfare. Now, for that launch stability, we're talking about it in the sense of when the game opens up to millions of players globally, things will be found that aren't when in-house and in QA testing. That's just the law of numbers. We've talked about that here on the channel, so when you see a game out in the wild, more bugs pop up, more balancing tuning needs to be done, and so on and so forth. We talked about it before about how I don't think this game has really hit its stride just yet, but instead tried to hit the ground running, but stumbled a little bit on its way. So kind of like how if you were to jump out of a moving car, you'd want to be hitting the ground running, but if you fall, before you can start running, you need to get yourself back up, dust off, and make sure that you're not broken so that in the future, you don't cause any more injury because of you being already broken. That's kind of the same thing here with Modern Warfare. I feel like that's the phase we're in right now, where the game dropped, it stumbled a little bit, but now they're fixing everything, making updates, patching things, doing balancing adjustments, and so on and so forth. But before they end up introducing a ton of post-launch content, they want to make sure the game is as playable as possible for as many people as possible, with as little bugs, as little errors, and so on and so forth as possible. But also, it could be potentially because of that complete overhaul of how post-launch content and microtransactions, or maybe even the lack thereof, seems to be something that may have been a last-second change-up for Modern Warfare. While we have literally no idea, and it will probably never be further confirmed nor denied, the curious nature that we had supply drops, we had keys, and other items of the like in the game code up until the very end indicated that the system may not have been too different until, say, the last 2 weeks or so comparative to what we had seen before. And if that is the case, the entirety of not only how content is distributed in terms of, say, mission challenges or things like that would have had to be done, but the entirety of the Battle Pass system may have needed to be revamped too. If we're still seeing weapons added, camos added, blueprints added, more may very well have needed to be designed if the previous system theoretically favored supply drops and RNG over a clear path to use, which we may end up seeing now. But that said, no matter the reasoning, it's pushed back to December. Now, if we're going to talk about time frame, what's a theory on it without some dates? Like we talked about before, previously the primary days for updates in Call of Duty have been relatively Tuesday for the most recent years. But as of recently in Modern Warfare, we've had a couple of updates drop on Fridays as well, so those may hold some significance too, tentatively. But let's set those days of the week aside for consideration. When we think about something being pushed back, I tend to think that it's a little earlier rather than much later, given the track record, at least with COD, that's had in recent years. But additionally, with December being a big sales month, they'll likely want to put it out sooner rather than later to capitalize on game and Battle Pass sales. So when we think about that, my mind immediately settles on 4 dates in the first 2 weeks of December. Tuesday, December 3rd, Friday, December 6th, Tuesday, December 10th, or Friday, December 13th. But again, bear in mind, this is all theory and is in no way, shape, or form confirmed. So if I were to guess, maybe keep an eye on those 4 dates there with it. But that said, now that we have timing down, what about pricing? What's it gonna cost to enter into a battle pass and maybe even season 1 entirely? Well, the nice part is that if you don't want to pay anything for season 1 content, you won't have to. Likely, as we'll talk about in the later portions of this video, we'll probably see a larger DLC drop as well, like how Operations handled map content and such last year for Black Ops 4. But the nice part again this year is that there is no exclusivity and all that content is free to the player. So if you don't want to drop the price for the extra bonuses, you won't need to. You still will have plenty to experience, and on top of that, there is a free battle pass option. Just like Fortnite, just like Apex Legends, just like COD Mobile, we'll end up seeing two wings of this, if you will, where you can progress your battle pass that you either did or did not put into, but the only difference between the paid and the free battle pass is that there's likely going to be more cosmetics, COD points, and maybe other things alike, and I cannot stress this enough, things that do not alter your gameplay experience that we know of so far. Things like your weapons will be introduced in the free manner, in which it's a direct path via play to get. That's been confirmed many times so far. So even from that standpoint, all weapons look to either be separate from the battle pass entirely, or it will be in the free tier so that both free and paid variations can obtain said weapon DLC. Now, there will be a premium battle pass in which we have no specific price point officially, but if we take a look at where the competition is, there's usually a sort of base value that battle passes have gone for in recent times. The prominent system foremost being Fortnite's battle pass system. That, to my knowledge, is $10 for the base paid pass, but then you also have the option for I think like $28 to get a few extra cosmetics, plus also get like a 25 tier boost on top of that. Then Apex Legends Battle Pass season is, to my knowledge, again, $9.50. So I think that $10 price point is a relatively reasonable assumption for what we may see in terms of Modern Warfare's Battle Pass system coming whenever that may be. So looking like maybe $10 for what you'll be able to progress through and get those extra cosmetics in Season 1. Now, will it offer a bundle to progress you through a little faster like Fortnite? Personally, I'm thinking no. That, of course, is my own thoughts. It definitely could happen, but we'll talk about why I think that in just a little bit here. But let's talk about the items we may see. That's probably the most important part here out of this, why people will even be interested in seeing this. So far, again, it seems like it's all going to be cosmetic things or things that don't affect your gameplay experience. While we don't know if the weapons themselves being introduced post-launch will be a part of a battle pass, again, that wouldn't be something, though, that is locked behind a paywall that we see so far, but we may see those base weapons added in via, again, the free portion here of this. But then, additionally, I'd likely expect to see blueprints, camos, calling cards, stickers, watches, Tamagunchis if there's any differentiation between a Tamagunchi and a watch, so they may even be just part of the same category, uniforms, and the part that is the most interesting to me is this has already been confirmed by an Activision blog talking about this, the fact that we'll have COD points available. Now, if I were to guess, I'd say the COD points are probably going to be in the free as well as in the paid battle pass, but I think that they're more abundant within the paid battle pass, to which if you end up buying it, you may even be able to get all your money back essentially that you put in via COD points. Why you can't translate those COD points and cash out for real life money, so you don't necessarily get that money back in your pocket. You might get that, say, $10 or so back in COD after that specific battle pass. So that'll be interesting to see how much is there, how much it rewards the player in terms of offering the ability to either buy items further, or if you end up just getting your money back for the battle pass over the season, if you end up exceeding that, if you end up getting double, triple, that might be excessive, but that's something that we have never seen before, and certainly we didn't see within Black Ops 4 system, but it'll be interesting to see how it actually works. But likely, again, we'll see a lot of this stuff more abundantly within the premium version of the battle pass, with the free maybe having one every third or fourth tier. That's something really worthwhile. But that said, free and premium will have all the things we just listed more than likely, but my next area that I want to talk about is how do we think we'll rank it up? Because, again, Black Ops 4 system was less than ideal, having an hour of in-game playtime progress through one tier. That's a lot of time for the casual player, and a lot of the times I know players didn't actually reach that max level. So that said, what is going to be different that makes it more accessible? What makes it a little bit easier for the casual player, and also even for those that are grinding out the game? I personally think that this may be something that's rank-based, not time-based. So when we consider the sort of standard model for a battle pass is around 100 levels, well, what else has 100 levels this year? the officer ranks. So if I were to guess, I think that we'll end up seeing officer ranks be the progressional tie-in with the upcoming battle pass. You move a tier each time you rank up. Now, what that means for players who are new or maybe didn't get through the enlisted ranks of level 1 through 55, I'm not entirely sure, honestly. It may be a thing where you jump into that when you reach 56, since enlisted doesn't ever reset, so that could be 1 level or 55 levels away, but it might be that sort of training wheels period in a sense where you unlock everything and you get a grasp for the game, but then afterwards you jump into what is the extracurricular pieces of Modern Warfare. Now, closing out the discussion, how long will it last? I think that this may be something that follows maybe closely to Black Ops 4's system, but maybe not. Black Ops 4's each operation lasted 70 days or relatively around there. Operation Dark Divide is something that's still going on, and that doesn't have an end date, so likely that's an outlier. We had things that were 1 or 2 days longer. We had one that was, I think, 1 day shorter, and then we had the intervals where we had first half and second half of operations introduced at a time. So those, of course, were 35 and then ultimately came to 70 days. But Modern Warfare's first 6 seasons have already been leaked, which means that we could be talking around the same time frame here for this. Timing-wise, it could be around 70 days. But I'd like to think that we end up seeing more seasons coming, since when these items were data mined, it was one of the base builds of the game. So there's still post-launch content being made and being created, and we'll see throughout the year that the game files get updated accordingly to add even more things in. So I'd like to think that there are more than 6, but truthfully we won't know for a little while. I guess the longest estimation though that I would say to expect is a 70-day period for each season. But outside of that, again, we will likely see some more maps happen. If I were to guess, it's something that will have a larger DLC drop on top of that. We saw Shoot House and Krovnik Farmland dropping for free for all players almost 2 weeks ago at this point now. So that said, pending we don't see anything this week like a surprise drop of another map, the next big one would likely be about a month away after that point, after those drops that we had of Shoot House and Krovnik Farmland. So maybe something where Season 1 kicks off with a big bang, but anyways, that's where we're going to wrap it up. That's what I want to talk to you guys about here today, the Battle Pass and what we may end up seeing, the who, what, where, when, and why. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. Is there anything in particular that you guys really like out of the prospect of a Battle Pass? Anything you don't necessarily like too much? Whatever it is, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare. And of course, if you do want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram a little further, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Probably live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, those links are down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.